They talk about the boom, but do they mention the bust? The headlines scream luxury, but the numbers don't lie. It's time to look the market straight in the eye.
Welcome to the Miami Condo Exchange, where we break down the price, the scope, and the range.
With Peter Zalewski, the authority here, making the complex simple, making the murky clear. From the buy side pressure to the sell side heat, we're tracking every move on the concrete street. We got the data, the stats, the metrics you need. Beyond the flash and the glamour, we're planting the seed of truth. We analyze the trends, we map out the spread. Is it vintage charm or a money pit trap? We're looking at the analytics, closing the gap. Past performance, present shock, future prediction. Separating hard reality from the friction of fiction. No sugarcoating, no fluff, no disguise. Just the raw condo numbers right before your eyes. South Florida is shifting, the tides start to turn. If you don't know the math, you're gonna get burned. Yeah, this is the Miami Condo Exchange.
Welcome to the Miami Condo Exchange, where we break down the price, the scope, and the range.
With Peter Zalewski, keeping it real, digging deep in the dirt of every single deal. From the buy side pressure to the sell side heat, the only podcast you need on the Miami street. Hey.
Real numbers, real talk.
The hyperbole stops here. This is the Miami Condo.
Number exchange, y'all.
Happy Tuesday, Miami. This is the Miami Condo Exchange, a conversation about what's going on statistically in the Tri-County, South Florida area of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. Miami Condo Exchange, the premise of it is, the way I look at the world is when you're east of Interstate 95, you're in a large trading pit for condos. These aren't real people. These are people who are speculating on condos. They may be looking for the family born a dog, but most of them are looking to get in it and get out and make a profit and call it a day. When you go west of Interstate 95, then you're talking about real people. So east of Interstate 95 is a trading pit, and that's what this podcast is all about. It's all about helping you understand all of the numbers that are out there right now related to the condo market. I'm Peter Zalewski, condo consultant, expert witness, founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. I am going to be discussing with you what's exactly going on right now. And this is a critical moment in the South Florida market. Why? Because we have just passed the historical peak, the symbolic peak of the winter buying season. The way the winter buying season works is it goes from November through April. This is the biggest time when people come to town. They come here for an event. They come here for a cruise. They come here for whatever they're coming for. They then start to realize that they really like the weather. Because they like the weather, they start saying to themselves, hey, maybe I should buy a condo. Maybe I'll retire here. Maybe it'll be a second home. Maybe I'll move here, full stop or all in full stop. So what typically happens is they start looking for a condo. By the time they find something they like, by the time they ultimately go into contract and close, it tends to be in the summer buying season, which will go from May through October. That just generally speaking is how the market plays out. Q2, Q3 tends to be the busiest time for condo transactions. Why? Because they started looking earlier. What's the third busiest time for condo transactions? That'll be Q4 of the year. And then finally, Q1 is the quietest time for condo transactions within the Tri-County, South Florida area. I've studied it. I've looked at it. We've researched it. So we're here to sort of share with you what's going on in the market. And what I can tell you is going on in the market right now is that we are seeing a tremendous surge in sales. Pending sales are spiking. I'm going to show you some charts. I'm going to show you some data. We're going to discuss what's exactly going on, but to basically cut to the chase, Interest rates haven't changed. The affordability is still an issue. Anybody going to the grocery store, you'll see that real quick. So why are people buying? Simple answer is prices are getting discounted. Condo sellers who are cash strapped, they're looking for ways to kind of make the numbers work, especially in a market where it is cheaper to rent than it is to own. So what's happening? Sellers who are cash strapped, they're finally cutting bait and they're starting to discount their pricing. Now, this is going to be all of them, but this is a growing number of people who are starting to realize that, hey, they should have got out earlier and now they want to try to salvage whatever it is they made. Now, some condo sellers, they're going to be thinking that their kid's on the honor roll, their other kid's fantastic at soccer, their significant other is good looking and charismatic, their car is the best, their neighborhood's the best, everything's the best. This is the moment when they start to realize that, hey, maybe we need to adjust. Maybe we need to pivot. Maybe we need to reconsider. Why do they do it right now? Because we are now on the other side of the Miami Beach International Boat Show in the Coconut Grove Arts Festival. Always goes on President's Day weekend, I should say. It's a holiday. And because of that, now the realtors tend to go to the listing or to the sellers and they start to say, listen, you got a short window to the till May when you get humidity, you get heat, and you start to get hurricane warnings. Therefore, everything is compressed. And that moment of confidence that you had in November, December, January, it starts to change because it starts to change those people who really do need to get out because they're getting weighed down by all of the costs of living in a condo. They have to then start to make decisions as to if they want to get out, how do they get out? And if you believe like us, condos are commodities. Remember what I mentioned at the beginning? When you're east of Interstate 95, you are in a trading pit. So it doesn't matter if you're trading pork bellies. Doesn't matter if you're trading coffee. Maybe you're trading orange juice or condos. And that's why we're at a real interesting time right now. So we would anticipate, and we called coming into the winter buying season, we'd probably see those people who need to get out. They would start to cut pricing. They would front run the market. They would try to get out first. And now that we're on the other side, effectively the wrong side of the bell curve, and we're starting to go down, winter is starting to basically fade. As it starts to fade, people are going to become more and more urgent. Not going to say desperate, but more urgent. There's going to be more urgency to try to get out. And that's basically what we're seeing in our statistics. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share all that with you. Before I do, let me just remind everybody, if you are in the market for a condo, what you need to consider. Don't look for a unit. Look for a building. Figure out the buildings that make the most sense. Once you know the buildings that make the most sense, then what you do is you're able to sit back and you're able to pick and choose which particular units you want to make a run at. How do you figure out which buildings make sense? Well, you got to start analyzing buildings and kind of looking at buildings. If you want a good way and a way to sort of fast track and leapfrog figuring out how to do it, take one of our tours. We do tours every Saturday, 10 to 1 o'clock. Spend about 3 hours. They're walking tours, walk around about 4 miles or so, moderate pace, have some stops along the way. Whichever market we're looking at, I will give you a list of all the condo projects. I'll teach you how to analyze condo buildings. I'll show you which indicators you should be considering when you're going ahead and doing your thought process. I like to compare searching for condos to much like getting on Tinder. If you get on Tinder and you swipe left, that means you don't like them. And if you swipe right, maybe you do like them. That's what you need to do with condos. There's way too many condos in Florida as well as South Florida. Overall, state of Florida, got about 28,250 associations with more than 1.2 million units. Down in Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County, looking at about 13,000 associations with more than 610,000 units. Way too much to look for. So what you have to do is you have to eliminate, or swipe left, and that's what we teach you on the tours. If you want information about the tours, go to miamicondo.club or go to the miamicondoclub.eventbrite.com. Eventbrite is the ticket agency. They're the ones that handle all the pricing, stuff like that. What you simply do is you go to miamicondoclub.eventbrite.com. You'll see the entire schedule. And when you go and you look at that schedule, what you're going to find is this Saturday, we're doing the Brickell Avenue area. The following Saturday, we're taking a look at Coconut Grove. Last week, we did Coral Gables and forecast out one more week. The 3 weeks from now, we'll be doing the Central Business District of Greater Downtown Miami. We'll also be taking a look at Sunny Isles Beach. Some of you might want to go up to Sunny Isles Beach. Maybe some of you are interested in Fort Lauderdale. We're doing a bus tour first Saturday in April of Fort Lauderdale Beach. If you want to jump on the bus in Miami-Dade County, we'll take you up there. We'll bring you back. And if you want to jump on in Broward County, we'll pick you up at the Tri-Rail station off Griffin Road. just west of Interstate 95. So if you're interested in figuring out the market, if you're interested in which a lot of people are, getting a copy of our list. We give you a list of all the condo projects, not just the one that the real estate people want you to consider. We're giving you everything because if you want to know the market, you have to be able to quantify it. Therefore, you need to have everything. You can't make preferred choices. Well, let's not include this one because they don't pay a big enough commission. Let's include this one. No. We cut through all of it. We give you the straight talk, and therefore you're able to go forward and do what it is, whatever it is you want to do. The other thing I should point out to you is that I have a club, Miami Condo Investing Club. Club is based on building a community of those people who are interested in condos. It doesn't matter if you're a DIY buyer. It doesn't matter if you're a buyer working with a realtor. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor. Maybe you're a lender, you're a regulator, or anything. If you want to talk condos and you want to be with other people who are interested in condos, and by the way, condos are not necessarily a popular thing for investors because the numbers are so hard to make work. Typically, a cap rate on a condo right now is going to be less than 1%. You can put your money in a CD and make more than 4%. If you were to put your money in the NASDAQ last year, you made north of 20%. Dow Jones was north of 10%. So why would you put it in a condo? Well, the reason people are looking at condos now is we're starting to see a pullback in pricing. As the prices start to pull back, suddenly they start to make sense. And that's what all the work we're doing is sort of going towards, is trying to identify and understand the market. I've been down here since 1993. I wrote about real estate in business and economics for 13 years. I then wrote a column for the Miami Herald. I also wrote a column for the Miami Real Deal simultaneously, different days of the week, different topics. So I'm all about real estate. I'm all about condos. And ultimately, we are where we are right now, which is trying to help people understand what's going on in the marketplace. And so if that makes sense to you, if that sounds interesting, consider joining the Miami Condo Investing Club, miamicondo.club. And one of the things we do as part of the club, we do a monthly meetup. This is an opportunity to network, pitch your services, share war stories, and basically just try to collect information from other people who are condo-minded. Tonight, we are doing one of our meetups, always the third Tuesday of the month. We're doing it tonight. We're doing it at a place called Craft Bayside. It's on 9th and Biscayne. So if you're watching this, and after work or whatever, you want to come on by, swing on by. It's free. You're going to discounts on drinks, happy hour prices on drinks and food. We go from 6 to 8, typically end up hanging out later because everybody wants to talk shop. So if that's something that sounds good to you, come on by and we would love to meet you if we do not yet know you. So what I will say as part of that is I'm probably going to wrap up this podcast a little bit earlier. Why? Because I have to go from here. I have to go to Craft, 9th in Biscayne. They call it Craft Bayside. I don't know why. It's nowhere near Bayside, but basically across the street from Kaseya Center. It'll be in the south side of the 900 Biscayne Bay condo tower. It's actually fronting 9th Street right across from the Marina Blue. So a place called Craft, and we always have a good time there. So I'd invite everybody to come and check it out. If you want more information, just simply go to the website, miamicondo.club, and we got all the details there. So you're watching this live. Because you're watching this live, I'm now going to go into some of my charts. Some of these charts, once this live stream is over, we're then going to do some quick edits, mostly for luck, and maybe adjust the sound. And then from that point, we will put it behind a paywall. But because you're tuning in live, you're going to be able to see everything that I'm going to be sharing right now. So let's go ahead and get into some of our numbers. We're going to start off with the South Florida Condo Association Financial Cliff Index. Boy, that's a lot to say. Basically, what we refer to it as the Condo Cliff Index. And what the Cliff Index is it is meant to give you a real-time perspective of what's going on in the marketplace. If you look at wholesale data, that stuff is old. Compare it to Wall Street. On Wall Street, if you look at unemployment numbers, it'll tell you where we were. You look at the stock market and the indices, it tell you where we're going. And that's what we created this index for. We have an index that tracks South Florida. Then we look at Miami-Dade County. We look at Broward County. We look at Palm Beach County. And then in addition, we got another 19 additional markets going from Coconut Grove all the way to hell up to West Palm Beach and Palm Beach Island, where Mar-a-Lago is located. And by the way, West Palm Beach is tremendous market right now. A lot of people flooding into West Palm Beach. They all want to be near the power structure. Remember, Donald Trump spends his weekends at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is located on the Barrier Island, right across the little bridge from downtown West Palm Beach. So condo investment is blowing up there. You also got an announcement recently that Vanderbilt, who had talked about setting up a campus, remember Vanderbilt's private university out of Nashville, about setting up a campus in West Palm Beach. Well, they just announced that they're going to be going forward and actually doing it. So a lot of speculation, a lot of investment going on in West Palm Beach. And that's one of the reasons that Palm Beach County is the best market overall in all of South Florida right now, because the amount of money that's moving in there, and you're probably not going to know it. You're not going to know it for a while. Why? Because the closed sales data is going to come out way too late. but we're telling you right now because we're checking week over week over week. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up what will first be line charts. We're going to hit line charts, then I'll drill, then I'll bring in some other charts where it's really the data, and then we'll kind of round it all off before I bid you adieu. So without hesitation, let's go ahead and bring up our line charts for the South Florida Condo Association Financial Cliff Index. Here we go, pulling it up right now. And which one do we have? We got it right there. There we go. All right, let's share. All right, I am sharing a screen with you right now. I'm going to do a quick adjustment on this live stream. So people watching on the edit, they will not see it. But people on the live stream will see it overall. So what we're looking at here is we are looking at a shot of what's going on in the index. The index is a combination of active listings and pending sales. It's giving you an idea where we are right now at this moment in time on a week-over-week basis. We pull it every Tuesday, and then I come on and I discuss it at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays and give you an idea of where we're at.